Okay. Um, Thank you once again. This introduction to Python is for the workshop that we are planning to start very soon. So I hope I'm able to take us through some part of this introduction to Python. It's not a snake that is going to bite us. It's just something simple that we're going to look like that is going to help us and enhance our work. So looking at the story or the history of Python, which was started in 1991. So that was I'm not going to go deep into that. And in the extension that we have, the extension that we have, sorry, okay, the extension that we have, or the extension that we are going to be making use of to save our Python is called .py, which I've already accessed in the group before. Is .py. That's the extension that you're going to be saving. If you check your picture, you will see so name dot jpeg dot png. So no matter when you want to start, you are going to do what? You have to save it in that format. And I would have loved to share my screen and show us maybe talking of how to install. Okay, let me just change this way. The way I'm sharing, let me share directly. Let me capture up the screen. Let me capture the entire screen. So please, can you see my screen? Please,
Yes,
can you?
yes, yes.
Okay, good. Okay, good. So, okay, for those who are new, okay, to install, you can just go to python.org, whereby we have different version. Presently, I think we are in 3.12. So you can just be in any of these. You can just download any of these version. Download. Become the for Windows for other OS. You can click on that and you download it as well. Sorry, please. I just need to admit those people in. And at that point, when you download, you install. You can just okay. Let me just sorry, please. I need to just do one or two things so that we can able to know how to make use of Python with or without without other environments. So in Python, we have what we call IDLE. You can see now I have two versions of Python on my system. So this IDLE is the environment where you can run your own Python. You can run your own Python and display your code, write your code, and so that's how you can. I just want us to see the basic one. Also, another one is you can run it on your virtual machine whereby you have to. This one is somehow complex. It's sorry. This one is somehow complex, so we will not be really talking about it because you have to first of all install some extension. You go to the extension, uh, you install, you can see Python, you install it and you start making use of it. And if possible, you still have to install some other extension. like Jupyter Notebook. If you want to use Jupyter Notebook, because if you are working with Python, with quantum computing, you may need Jupyter Notebook. There's still other environments you can make use of. But for us, we are making use of our collab. So collab is just going to go direct with us, and we have to. So this is how it's going to look from there. This is the IDLE shell, whereby you can write some code. Um, Let me run it. Okay, just okay. This okay. You can see now. Actually, this is a shell, so it's not going to give us. But if I want to write a real code, you can come here. So from there you save and so on. These are the things that we all have understanding of saving. So that's just how the normal Python works. So looking at collab, you have to be online, and it has a lot. You don't need to install anything. You don't need the Python on my system is not working with this. It's working cloudly, so it's there already. And some other libraries are on collab, so you can make use of it and use very well. So we have different version, and the current version is 3 point something upward. So 2 point something has been stopped being used. I've talked about the IDLE, which is integrated development and learning environments, which was built by Python. And looking at the futures of Python, is easy to learn, read, and maintain. Python has few keywords and simple structures and well-defined syntax. So these are the areas. These are the main reasons why you can make use of Python and use it to develop whatever you need. Okay, usually the Python programming language can be used for many areas for web development, software development, machine learning, even quantum computing, robotic, and so on. So let us dive into our code. Looking at print, if you want to display anything in Python, um, sorry, I've run this code before, so that's why it's trying to load. Okay, if you want to in we call this cell in all this notebook. We have Jupyter notebook, we have Collabo notebook. We call this cell, and if you want to open a cell at the top, you use outside, click outside first, so that you are not going to type inside your code. We call it cell. So now you click A, just A. It's going to give you another cell. This is sorry, it should be at the top. Okay, this one is going. Also, you can make use of B. Also, it's going to do what? It's going to help you to, it's just a shortcut to open a new cell. So let me just open my own cell. Now we have print. In linears, if you want to, you have to echo in linears to do whatever you want to do to have your output out so that you can see what you are doing. Now you want to print something. You want the output to come out. So you need to do print from there. Um, you will write your string. We call this string. Anything that is in quotation is string. So my name is Shego. So and you run it. So from there also you can write another any string. What we call string is word. So any statement, anything can be what, even your country. I'm from Nigeria. So you can run it, it's going to do what? It's going to give you the output. So we run this so that it can give us the output of what? Qiskit for first 2024. So that's how to make use of if you want to print your hello word. Okay, let me use this one to print hello word, which everybody always say hello word. So from there you run it. Actually, running out of time. So please, I want us to just focus on trying to get this. And in Python, this is how we comment. We have different ways to comment. Actually, this is a single line comment. This single line comment is just for us to have more knowledge. Okay, this is what I'm writing, this is what I'm trying to do. No matter anything that you put this sign on, this hash sign is going to comment it. If I comment this and try to run it it's not going to give me any output any longer. So if I remove and run, it's going to, that's the output quantum. So if you want to comment, you can comment at the top, you can comment after your code. So those are the two areas you can comment. And you can comment a lot. You can have a lot of section for comments. Just so that's, you can just comment from that aspect. So that's about comments. Let's talk about Python variables. Python variables are used to store information to be referenced and used by programs. And in a simple way, Python variable is just like a container, that you have a lot of, let me say, bread or indomie. You have a lot of indomie inside, you have a lot of bread inside the container or um inside the bag. So it's holding something which is bread. How many bread is it holding? Is it 10? Is it 20? So that's why we have the syntax that say variable name is equal to value. Now, your container is your variable name, which is bread container, Indomie container. Like your country now, maybe you're from India or Nigeria or any part of the world. You citizen inside the country, maybe you are 500 in that country, but the container that is holding that 500 million citizen is Nigeria or India. So there is a variable name. Just let us have this at the back of our mind, where we have variable name is equal to value. The variable name is the one holding the value. The variable name is the one holding the value. So from there, we have some example, which is num is equal to 2023. We have days, which is equal to happy Sunday. We have qubit, which is equal to QC. So these are some of, okay, now let us look at the code here. We want this, we have num is equal to this, we have date is equal to 60, we have days is equal to Sunday, we have name is equal to ospy. So from there, we want it to print date, which we have what? Our date is 16. And if you want it to print days, it's going to give us what? Sunday. It's not going to give us what is not being in the container. It's what is inside the container that we are going to what? That we are going to receive. It's going to display. Let me use that, or it's going to output for us. So okay, let me just try to change the name, because the container, the variable name is wrong, but it may look the same, but it's not the same. The same pronunciation, but different structure. So that's what is going to take us to the rules of what? Variables. Rules of variables. You have to know these rules of variables. The rules of variables will allow us to know how to structure our variables. The first part is you must start your variable names with an alphabet or underscore. You can say your variable name must start with an alphabet or underscore character. Secondly, your variable name can only contain A to Z, which is in capital, comma, A to Z, which is in small letter, 0 to 9, which is number, and underscore. These are the characters which your variable name can contain. Other characters, okay, you, you cannot start the variable name with a number. Please have it at the back of your mind. You can start your variable name. Let me come here. Let me put number at the front of this one day. It's already giving an error message with this line. And now let me come here. Let me run it. You can see invalid. So that's the error message. I'm already trying to let us know how to look at errors as well. It's already pointing to where the error is. So if I remove this, sorry, I remove this from here. So it's going to give us what? Sunday. So you cannot start the variable name with a what? With a number. Um, the fourth one, you cannot use a special characters with the variable name, such as, please, dollar sign. Let me just say this so that we can able to get this. Any other special characters apart from underscore, you can't use them. All the characters that we have apart from underscore, this is it. It's only underscore that you can make use of to start your variable name, or that can be in between your variable name. So dollar sign, percentage, hash, and at, all those comma, all those points, dots, all those characters, special characters cannot be used apart from what? Underscore. So the next one is variable name are case sensitive. For example, username and username are two different things. I've done something of such. Now, Python is case sensitive. Let's have that at the back. What do we mean by case sensitive? What we mean by case sensitive is capital letter and small letter. Let me just use it that way. So now, if you can see this now, the variable name is D. And in my output, when I'm calling it, I wrote small d. So Python, if it's C language will capture it. Python does not understand that. It's not divine because it's not part of what we listed. If I change this to small d and run it again, it's going to work. But neutrally is in capital letter. D is in capital letter. So that's what is number 5 rules is telling us. Variable names are case sensitive. In Python, some programming language, variable names are not case sensitive. But in Python, please put it at the back of your mind, variable name are case sensitive. So the next one is hello. Hello? I don't know if you can hear me. Are we together, please?
Yes, you are audible enough, sir.
Okay, please, is there any question? Please, is there any mix-up anywhere before I move forward? Okay, if there's no question, no problem. Okay, now the next one is variable names cannot contain white space. What we mean by white space is a gap in between. You can see this in between, a gap in between. If I run this, let me see, invalid syntax. So you can say if you put a space in between your variable name, it's going to give what? An error message. Instead of doing that, why don't you just bring your underscore? Let me put the underscore here as well and run it. Perfect. That's how you can structure your variable name. You can be working like, okay, now let's assume you want to design a traffic light, and you're seeing that the variable name you want to use are the same, are going to be problematic in a way that you have red, yellow, green, and you want to structure it in a way that is going to be like, you don't want them to join together because traffic light underscore red, traffic light underscore yellow, traffic light underscore green. So that's just how to structure some variable name. Okay, the last part, which is very important for us to note, is do not use reserved keyword. There are some things we call keywords in Python or in programming languages. Keywords are the word which are already inbuilt. Let me say they are inbuilt keyword words or functions which are already in that language. So example of keywords in Python is class. Class is so sorry for that. Okay, sorry. So we have class, we have for, we have Dave, which is for function, we have delete, is, else, if, and so on. So you don't make use of all these names. It's a keyword which is reserved for something else. You don't make use of them. So no matter what you are structuring, you can let's try something of such. So okay, sorry. Okay, you can already see it's already giving an it changed the color. The color was changed because you can say because of what? Because that name is a keyword and you can't use it. Let me add one to it, and it's going to be what? A real variable name. So that's just how it is. Um okay, these are some examples of variable names which is allowed to use. We have x is equal to 2, y is equal to hello, my python is equal to, that's the value, my underscore python, that's this is the value, underscore my python, my python, my python. So you can see different structure, and if we come here and run this, okay, let me run them one sample. Oh, so that's it. So this area is very important. You must know how to structure your your variable name very well. You must know how to structure it, have the understanding of that. Okay, let us go into data type. Looking at data type, um, before I was trying to, in the group, I was giving different kind of data type. I was typing them out, but this one I have to break it down to some level so that you can get the understanding of it. Data type is a classification of data which tells the computer how the programmer intend to use the data. So you are align the computer or the compiler or interpreter, because all this is what we use in Python to understand. Okay, this is what you are trying to do. If you are writing a string, you let the interpret the language to know this is what I'm writing. This is the kind of data I'm writing. If you are into float, you allow the program to understand that Python variable do not need explicit declaration. You have to declare automatically when you assign a value to a variable, with the equal sign is used to assign values to variables. Okay, okay. We are just talking about more expatiating on variable there. So looking at the counter, which is equal to 100, which is an integer. You can we should know what an integer is. We should know what float is. But I asked that question in the group chat. What's the example of float? What are example of integer, which was given? Even strings has its own example as well, which is name is equal to John. Anything alphabetical or anything that you put in apostrophe is a and it's called string. So we have string, we have flow points, and we have integer assignment. So looking at Python, um, main standard. This is main standard data type that we have. We have numbers, we have strings, we have boolean, we have list, we have triple and dictionary. We touch them little by little. So those are the main standard one that you will work with as times goes on. So looking at Python number data type stores numerical values. Under that Python numbers, which is a data type, we now have ints, where our integer is, we have floats, where our float is. Example of float is 10, integer is 10, 100, minus something, and so minus 70, minus 30, 1, and so on. Float, which is a positive and negative float decimal fraction numbers, which you have 0, 0.0, 15.20, minus 21, and so on. Complex numbers, you will deal with a complex number a lot in quantum computing. So complex number, we have 3.14 j, we have minus dot 65 plus 0 j, or sometimes you can see I. So those are complex numbers. A complex number consists of other pairs of real floating points numbers. So those are whereby you have x plus yj, and where you have also where your x and y are real numbers and j is the imaginary unit. So I hope many of us did mathematics to be able to understand that. So example, now we have x is equal to 1, which is an integer. Okay, we can even structure our code. Okay, you want to know the kind of data that is flowing, that is coming in. Looking at x is equal to 1, we print the data type. Also, looking at y is equal to 2.7, we print the data type, which we have class int, class float. So this is a float, this is a integer. So that's for that. Please, is there any question? Are we together, please? Is there any question? Okay, if there is no question, okay. I don't want to just put everything on our head. Um, can we go ahead and read about Python strings? So from there, let me look how far we can go. Okay, if we can by tomorrow, we can still meet as well, and from there we enter into the string, Python boolean, Python input function. So we structure that uh, before we can now talk of um, numerical operators that are important. And from there, I hope we make sure we can touch most of all this, because I just want us to understand and have the knowledge of this. Please, this file will be okay. Sorry, it's not in PDF. I will send another file. This one is a notebook. I can't send this. I will send another. Except, okay, if I send this, please, you have to open it on your either that Jupyter notebook or your collabo notes go. So please, is there any question? Mr. Sam?